Welcome back to the Flashing Badger podcast, where once again we are playing Delta Green, Last Things Last. Joining me this week, as they are every week, is...
It's me, Mike.
It's Fitz.
It's Wegs.
Thank you for listening. Let's start Delta Green.
Flashing Badger, Flashing Badger, alright. Flashing Badger.
So once again, Delta Green is from Arc Dream Games. We've been having great fun with it so far. If you haven't heard part one, it's your first episode. Welcome. Please go back to part one before you listen to this. Make a lot more sense. I also want to start by saying, while Delta Green is a game about hopelessness and despair, that's only fun in contrast to real life, which on the other hand is full of hope and opportunity. And if as a listener you ever think that despair is winning, make sure you reach out to Lifeline or a similar service in your area, because we want you to keep listening. We love you.
You made that so selfish in the end. It's like, we need you to be happy
we need the
still
numbers
with us because we need a listener.
My point is, there is reference to suicide in this episode. If that is going to upset you, maybe you should just keep re-listening to some of our earlier episodes.
Reach out.
Last week on Last Things Last, the team had just discovered they were on a sweep and clear job looking to clean out secret Delta Green files that may be stored at the apartment of Clyde Bauman. They had just reached his apartment building. The key had been pushed in the lock and the door was swinging wide open. Let's join our intrepid adventurers now. But before we do, would you like to give me a very quick reminder of who you all are and what you're all doing? Wegs, start with you.
Yes, my name is Wilhelm Schell, Agent Phoenix to my comrades here. I'm an astrophysicist by trade. I've gone through some fairly traumatic experiences which have left me a very deeply changed man. I've picked up some eccentric habits and compulsions that my colleagues are discovering, scribbling occult symbols as we travel. I seem to be operating on a bit of a different wavelength, and we're about to dive into something that's going to test the edges of my sanity. Fitz, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm McMurdy. McMurdy's enough, or Agent Panama, if you will. Ex-Special Forces, now a private security contractor, and read into that what you will. Every stereotype you can think of is within my hulking solid 6'2" frame. And I'm obviously on this mission as well. I'm retired from the US military. However, I have recently been called up for this, we'll call it private mission.
You've been doing some independent contracting in the meantime, I think.
I have. Been doing some independent contracting. I was contacted by some ex-army hierarchy recently and offered this position. And this is my first mission on it.
He was a mercenary for a company called Green Delta. There's only so many names available.
No one can work out who they're working for.
It was actually Gamma Blue, but...
Whoa.
And I'm Mike, and I'm playing Special Agent Owen Cornwell of the FBI. I have a degree in behavioural psychology, so I'm an expert in those fields. I'm 2 divorces deep.
Working on the third?
Yeah. I'm your classic investigator with his shirt untucked, 5 o'clock shadow. He's great at reading people, but he's also a little past his prime with some of the tactics.
Excellent. So when last we left you, the door to Bauman's apartment was just creaking open. And as it does, you're greeted by this waft of stale cigarette smoke and this sickly sweet stench of decay that comes out from like a cloud from the apartment. And you're faced with a long hallway in front of you that leads down to a wall, and you can see it opens up to the left to a living area, but inside it's sort of spartanly furnished and pretty drab and unappealing, with a worn brown carpet and tobacco-stained ceiling. Moving down the hallway, you can see off to your right there's a small little landing area that leads off to 2 bedrooms and a very small bathroom. As you walk up towards the bathroom, the smell gets stronger and staler. And you can see in the distance there is a small balcony that leads out just over looking over the back alley behind the building. There's no view to speak of. It's about 25 feet to the next building. What would you like to do?
As I step into the corridor, I have a flashlight on my belt, but having a bit of experience going scene to scene with the FBI, I stop and I look across to my side and I look for a light switch, and I'm keen to test if the lights work.
Sure. So you flick the light switch and the light comes on. It's the kind of dim, grimy, exposed 60-watt bulb that seems to make the shadows in the corners even deeper rather than actually helping you see much. But you do see just next to the light switch there is a keyboard with a row of hooks on it, and there's a set of keys hanging on the hook there.
I'm not a cop, but I am Special Forces, ex-Special Forces, and now a private contractor, as I said. Once the lights go on, I pretty much draw my weapon and go through just a basic room clearance of the entire apartment. I'm just looking for people. I'm not looking for anything minute. I'm just making sure that there's nobody else in there. So I'm clearing rooms and I'm clearing cupboards or anywhere person-sized where someone might fit.
Sure. So you find a couple of bedrooms that are again quite sparsely furnished and quite poorly maintained. Everything there looks like it's seen better days. It looks like it's all about 20 years out of date. When you knock open the door to the bathroom, you can see that it's in a fairly poor state. There's like a cracked door to a shower stall and a bit of ceramic like toothbrush holder that's clearly been smashed on the floor, and the parts are now piled up in the corner, and the bath has a line of scum around the edge that's pretty unpleasant, and there's quite a strong musty smell in there. But you go through all the cupboards, you throw them open, and you see what you expect to see. Stacks of clothes and things. You don't see any evidence of anyone hiding in there, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not looking for details or anything minute at the moment. I'm just making sure there's nobody else in here with us. And I'm pretty much, as soon as I've done that, I come back to the group.
I scoff a little as he walked off because in my theory, in my head here, there's no one here. The scene's already been processed first time around. And so I've got no tactical now, so I'm not interested in that. And as I'm walking up the hallway, I'm instead looking to see if there's signs of the crime scene analysis that's already occurred. Now, commonly you might see in the movies where they've processed something and they've left behind the tape and the chalk markings and some measurements. Is there any indication that other people have already processed this area from a law enforcement perspective?
You're still just standing near the front door now, and you've got a cupboard off to your right, and the hall kind of extends away. There's certainly nothing obvious from where you're standing at the moment.
I'm a little bit more detached. I'm looking around. I'm like you, Agent Prague. I don't expect to see anybody. My concern is that there is something worse than a person lurking in here. So I'm making small gestures with my hands, kind of sketching in the air, eldritch symbols. Not too concerned if you guys can see it or not. I'm more concerned about protecting our spiritual sides. But I'm leaving the actual heavy work up to you guys. You guys seem to know what you're doing.
I ignore what he's doing and I take my clicky pen out of my top pocket and I just jiggle the keys that are hanging up near the door. So rather than picking them up with my hand and examining them, I just sort of move the keys with my pen to get a better look of what style of keys they are and if they have tags on them.
So you can see there's what looks like a car key and a house key there, and there's a label on them with an address, and the address is Stumpfield Road, Mariposa, California.
Perfect.
Sorry, Stumpfield Mountain Road.
I make a note of that in my notebook, but I leave the keys where they are. I don't otherwise disturb them.
And I proudly come back like, place is clear. And I'm once done that, holster my weapon. I'm not as, I guess, investigatively minded as Agent Prague here. But one thing that I do is, whether they sort of want to or not, I kind of shuffle everybody inside the apartment and shut the door. Because what we're doing is private here.
With the second that you...
So, Wegs, I might get you to do, Wilhelm to do an unnatural roll for me, please.
I've rolled a 61.
And you're looking for under a 10?
Looking for under a 10.
No worries. So, unbeknownst to you, the little hand gestures that you're doing and the little things are absolutely achieving nothing. It's more like a tick or a obsessive compulsive kind of response rather than it's not actually tapping into the veil or achieving anything supernatural.
It is soothing me.
Absolutely.
It's soothing my nerves. It is not accomplishing anything in the spiritual realm.
Correct. That's right.
It is the equivalent of cracking my knuckles or something.
Absolutely. Yeah, good comparison. All right. So where do you guys want to go looking?
Panama's sort of dragged us into the apartment and he said, the place is clear. I sort of mumble and shake my head under my breath. This place is not clear.
As he closes the door, I can see behind the door, are there any cupboards or anything?
Yeah, there's a closet that was like the front door opens over the door to the closet there, yeah.
Yep, so now that it reveals that, before I commit any further down the hallway, I'm going to have a look in that closet.
Yeah, so you open it up and it's it looks like mostly a...
Should be linen.
Should be.
Been reading ahead.
Is it really?
It's a linen closet.
Yes!
So, looking through there, you can see there's stacks, towels, almost up to the face of the door. There's stacks of towels and bed linen and things. Do you want to go any deeper in there, or are you...
No, I leave it at this point, and then I just start making my way up the corridor.
I sort of say, should we take a room each?
I'd be more comfortable if you weren't just running your hands through everything and fiddling. I can already see there's probably things that were missed by the local PD, and if they could be left in the position they were.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I'm saying that to you, but whether you listen to me. You pig-headed man.
I'm happy to fall in step with what you dictate.
All right. So you're doing a slow walk through the apartment. Agent Prague, are you? Is that the...
Yeah, I'm walking my way up the corridor and just looking at the walls. I haven't quite got to the opening yet to the bedrooms. I'm just seeing if there's anything else on the walls, any little stands.
Yeah, so you can see there's a picture attached on the wall that's it's like a stick figure. It looks like it was drawn by a kid. A stick figure with holding the hand of another little stick figure, and it says Grandpa spelt wrong, and it's got the name Cassie written in the corner, and there's a couple of gold stars stuck to it. It's in a frame on the wall, in a picture frame on the wall.
Perfect. I'm now sort of near where the bedrooms are. I've had a feel for how big the apartment is, and realizing that if I do this on my own, then I'm going to be here all day. So I'm already over my idea of trying to process it on my own. And I reference back to Panama, and I'm like, we can pair up for rooms, we can do it all together, or you can split. But if you find something good, don't touch it.
I'm happy with that sort of general direction. I sort of ask Phoenix, or don't really ask Phoenix, I kind of have a look at him and go, I'll take the other bedroom. And I just wander off into that bedroom and start looking around.
I look at the bathroom door, and I it's like a black void for just a split second. I'm like, I guess I'm searching in there, aren't I?
And can you remind me what, again, it is, because I've been hitting the head a lot in my army days, what it is that Agent Hieronymus wanted us to look for?
Anything that relates to Delta Green, any evidence of his involvement in the program, anything that he shouldn't have, any classified material. Your job is to get it out, destroy it.
So I'm in bedroom 2, and that's what I'm doing.
Perfect. From the hallway looking into both bedrooms, can we get a sense of which may be the master bedroom or which is?
Yeah, so you can see the bedroom that's sort of against the front wall, as it were, has got more signs of life in it. There's a bed with a bedside table with a lamp on it, and there's like a dog-eared book on the side. There's an ashtray that's 2/3 full of cigarette butts, and there's some closets up against the wall that are slightly ajar, and you can see some clothing within. Whereas the other bedroom looks very sparse. There's a single bed there that's got like an old 1970s style pink blanket on it that's knitted, and the closet's mostly empty from what you can see. The doors are ajar again.
Yeah, good. I'm comfortable that Panama's picked room 2.
So's Panama. Panama, Mama didn't raise no fool. He knows which is the easier one to clear, so he's gone straight to bedroom 2.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at the bathroom door, dreading, knowing full well in the briefing dossier, Mr. Bowman? This is where he died. This is where his body sat for days. This is a spiritually black place. I'm psyching myself up to go in.
Okay. So from the smell is oppressive to you already. There's that neglect and decay smell that's coming from there, and there's the stale cigarette smoke from the whole area. But to you especially, it's probably double that ring of scum on the tub. I imagine you can almost picture the body face down in there still.
I have a small evidence kit on me. Inside my evidence kit is one of those really strong smelling eucalyptic balm sort of things. I take that out of my kit, and whilst having eye contact with Willie Phoenix over here, I rub some under my nose and then screw the lid back on and throw it over at him without saying anything.
I duck I think
I was going to say roll me a dodge roll.
I knock a photograph off the wall.
Yeah, it lands behind me. I get the jumps, turn around and blast it out.
I love the idea that like chips a bathroom tile as well. And you're like, wow, that's the deposit gone.
So I turn around, I pick up the balm and I apply it in the same way that I've seen this expert detective do it, and I start to think, maybe I'm in safe hands. Maybe I'll be okay.
I like that it's probably quite a childlike gesture where you're sort of really like copying him exactly the way he did it. And same facial expression. And
What I've really done is mess with Gordon, because every time he wants to describe a smell now, he's like, you get this rich eucalyptic scent.
Yeah. You realise you've accidentally put some on your nasal hairs and a burning sensation.
I recap the eucalyptus thing and I throw it to Agent Panama, but I've forgotten to call out to him first. So as it's hurtling towards the back of his head, I call out, Panama, and he turns around.
It hits me full on in the face.
Well, give me a dexterity roll.
Oh, okay.
Straight into the scar tissue.
Oh, fantastic. Hang on. Where would I find my dexterity? Up the top there. Looking to beat... I've passed. I've got a 23. I was looking to beat 60.
Excellent. So you spit around, and just as it's about to impact like your beautiful mustache, you catch it in your with the back of your hand almost to your mouth. You catch it, and what kind of reaction are you going to give to Phoenix?
I'll give him a death stare until I realise what it is, and I might take this opportunity to mess around with him a bit. Still go on the awful death stare like it is. Point to the mustache and throw it straight back at him.
Yes. I thought you were going to apply it like to your gum or something.
It's over.
Just eat it.
Pick up 2 fingerfuls and put like chewing tobacco.
What a great first dice roll of the episode. Yeah. The application and catching of balm.
Not get a tooth chipped by the old balm thrower.
And of course, you've thrown it back at me. I duck again, thinking, you've thrown it at me.
Hits Prague, and we've spent the rest of the episode just throwing
balm,
throwing eucalyptus cream at each
The
other.
daughter Sharon has now been knocked off the wall
Maybe the real horror was the balm all along.
Delta Green, a tasty new snack. Delta Green, produced with chemicals in a shack. Delta Green, delicious and makes you happy. Best have some more soon, or you might start feeling snappy. Delta Green, share it with a mate. Choose from 7 flavors. The flavoring contains potassium benzoate. Delta Green, steal it from a store. Have some, you'll be left wanting more and more.
And more, and more, and more, and more. Flashing Badger.
I'm gonna put the saga of the balm to bed, and I'm going to assume
We'll move on.
in a huff, Agent Prague now sort of scoops it back up and chucks it back into his evidence kit. So, searching bedroom 1, you want to go through that in some detail?
I do. So, stepping into bedroom 1, you mentioned that there was a dog-eared book, ashtray, some clothes strewn about. Mm-hmm. I guess before I commit to any one thing, I want to glance over the room again and see if there's an obvious point that I want to start. I'm looking for personal effects, like a bedside table that may have a diary, a letter, or some important documentation that he'd want to keep close by. Okay. Or a mobile phone if he has one.
So on top of the nightstand, there's a lamp. It's a touch lamp with a grandma style lampshade on there, and the book you see on top there is it's got a title on it, Burnt Offerings by Robert Marasco, and you sort of leaf through, you flick through the pages, but nothing falls out, and there's nothing. You don't see any markings or annotations or anything. It just looks like a normal paperback book. Looking in the drawer, you find the sort of usual top drawer detritus stuff. There's some cold and flu tablets, and there's a handkerchief and a little mini booklight. There's nothing in there that really grabs your attention. Old man things.
Is the bed made?
The bed's not completely in disarray, but the covers are folded back like it's someone's exited it without making it.
Okay, I lift the top corner of the mattress and just lift it sort of to waist height to peer under to see if there's anything that'd be within reach, that a common concealing point, I guess.
Yeah, no, looking under the mattress and around the sort of edges of the bed frame and under where the sheets tuck in and everything, you can't find anything there that's obvious.
Looking for medications around the nightstands or the bedstands, things that might be left out there. Or...
Do you want to, if I give you a search roll for the...
Absolutely. I rolled you a 26, which is a pass.
What was your search stat there?
50.
Excellent. All right, so you, in the process of your methodical experience, you actually strip the bed down and you end up going through each, taking the, what do they call it in America? The comforter out of the cover and taking the sheets off.
I'll never get that back on. Great.
the
fitted
corners are never going in the corners again.
Don't make me roll for a fitted sheet.
Panama, I need you. Get in here.
Hold this corner.
There is no corner.
You end up folding it up into sort of a neat little bundle and putting it right in the middle of the bed, and now you're left with a bare mattress, and there's no signs. There's the usual like watermarks. It's clearly an old mattress, but there's nothing in there that raises your ire.
I turn my torch on, and it's already pointing under the bed before I lower myself to it, and you hear me do the old man noise as I then get low to look under the bed.
Or they can hear your knees creaking from the other room.
Yeah.
You look under the bed, and there's nothing under there except dust bunnies.
Perfect. Next was the ashtray. I'm going to take a look at it. I don't rule anything out of what may be relevant, so I'm looking to see if they're all the same brand of cigarettes or if there's different types.
They sure are. You go through and there's an awful lot of Marlboro Reds in there and nothing else. And they
No Mythos menthol?
and given your background and everything, you are looking to see there's no, you can't see any lipstick on the cigarettes or anything. They all look pretty consistently smoked to you.
Excellent. I'll continue my way around the room. I've ticked off the nightstands, the bed, the ashtray. There was mention of the clothing. Is the clothing, if you're able to describe what I'm saying?
Yeah, so if you open the sliding door of the cupboard, there's two sliding doors there, and one half of it's hanging and the other half shelving. And the hanging clothes, you see it's almost half ladies' clothing and half male clothing. And then in the shelving section, you can see it's kind of the same, and it's all loaded deep. It's up to you how far you want to go into that.
Here's his wife, Marlene. So that might explain the women's clothing. The clothing that's already hanging up doesn't interest me, but what I am looking for is a piece of clothing, like whether it be jeans or a jacket, that may be laying somewhere nearby, like he's recently worn it, and I'd like to search the pockets of those.
Yeah, you can't find anything. You can just see it all. It all looks mostly neatly folded up into little individual shelving cubicles inside the other half of the closet there. Do you want to take any of that stuff out?
I'll look through the closet where the clothes are. Often there's safes or things would be kept in that sort of area.
Okay. So you go about halfway down where the ladies' clothing, it's like the top half of men's clothing, the bottom half is ladies' clothing, but the one near the dividing point, as it were, you pull it out, the stack of clothes there, and it's all a bunch of tops and things, and you find an urn tucked away right in the back corner.
Does the urn have a name on it? I'm picking it up and rotating it, looking to see if there's anything identifying.
Doesn't.
Okay, I'll leave the urn where it is at the moment, and Owen usually has an easy win by now with most of his investigations, so he's kind of frustrated. He works his way around to the back of the bed and grips on under the bed frame and just drags it that sort of half foot to a foot back towards him to see if shifting the bed will reveal anything at the bed head.
Yeah, no, there's the floor in here is, I forgot to tell you, I think, but the floor in here it's all wooden tiles through most of the apartment. There's nothing that falls down. You can see the bed head is a solid bit of wood. There's nothing glued on the back or anything like that, or taped.
Looking at the floor itself, wooden floor, is there any debris, staining, markings?
Do me a search roll.
I've rolled you a 38 under 50, so I've passed again. So give me all of the clues.
There's nothing of it. There's no markings on the floor that beyond the normal scuffs and bumps of what look like normal life, but you are slightly struck by the fact that the part of the living area is carpeted, but the bedrooms aren't, and it strikes you as slightly unusual.
Looking at where the carpet joins the wooden area, I imagine where the door is.
So that's right out in the living area. So almost the end of the hall terminates into carpet.
Oh, okay. So it's not where the bedroom meets.
It's just that you've noticed. It's just that you noticed when you came in that the living's carpeted, but the bedrooms aren't, which is perhaps the inverse of what's usually.
Frustrated with myself that I didn't pick up on it earlier because a lot of my tactical skills have gone from me in my later years. I now walk back to the entrance door to the room and I close the door over to see what's hanging on the back of the door and also just behind the door. It's an area I would have checked immediately in my first few years and just haven't yet.
On the back of the door, you see there's like a calendar and a pencil with a bit of string hanging on it, and the calendar's just landscapes of Montana or somewhere. It's just landscape photos, and you can see jotted down on the calendar there's doctor's appointments and dentist and just random things, but there's nothing that you can see around the date of death 3 or 4 days ago, and there's nothing you can see coming up that really strikes your fancy either.
I do the 1-page lift up to look at the following month. Anything special?
No. Going through, you can go back and forward a few months, and it's all the water bill due today and that kind of thing. It's all pretty standard.
Sensing his frustration, Owen just brings him back to the center of the room, puts his hands in his pockets to make sure he's not touching anything, and just huffs and looks around in a 360. Mm-hmm. And that may be an opportunity if you want, because I'm not doing very well. Because it hands to another character who solves this mystery.
Do you want to go through any of the rest of the... you're still in the first room. Do you want to go through any of the rest of the clothing that's stacked up neatly there?
Yeah, sure. He now, sensing frustration that he hasn't found what he wants, he moves back to the wardrobe, and the respect element of the search is starting to wane. And he reaches into the first compartment of folded clothes and just starts pulling them out and dropping them on the floor behind him.
Just sweeping them into a pile.
He's using, because the bed, the folded sheet and everything is gone. It is now what I search has been thrown onto the bed behind me.
Okay. So you get through and it's...
I would just like to point out, when we get to mine, I completely forwent the respect part. I am basically destroying this room as I go along, with no real consideration or concern for...
That's more entertaining. I feel like people have just had about 8 minutes of me failing to search a room.
I like the idea of you just neatly putting things back and straightening them as you do whatever, and then it cuts to me. I'm just ripping drawers out, checking underneath, emptying them and dropping them and stuff like that.
The entire time you've been doing this, I've been standing at the bathroom door, psyching myself up, like breathing, hyperventilating, slapping myself in the face, like, get in there and look.
I can hear things clanging on one side from you, and you just hear a dude sighing in bedroom one, just going,
So you
his sheets being folded.
you finally sweep out all of the things. You've left the hanging clothes, but the rest are all swept out onto the bed. And as you empty the bottom one, as you reach your hands in, it bumps into like a little small metal box that's probably not much bigger than an A4 piece of paper. And when you drag that out, you see it's got a little latch, but there's no lock through the latch.
Perfect. So I've got this little box and I've got the urn. There's things that are sticking out to me at the moment. The latch, I'm looking for a way to get into this box.
It's literally you flip it open. Like it's not...
I flip it open.
Yeah, it's not secure.
What do you want me to roll on?
If you could see your dexterity roll to see if your fingers
try
work.
and put the box and the urn together to form some sort of super ring.
I drive Gordon insane.
You come up
I
with
leave the box
container
where it
of
is
ashes.
out of respect.
You open the box.
I eat what's in the urn.
Oh, God. Grandma, no!
As you open the box, to your trained eye, you immediately recognise a Glock 17 handgun. And while most of it is that classic gunmetal finish, there's a section on the frame that's been filed or ground down to nothing, to bare reflective aluminium, whatever it's made of. And you know from your experience in the FBI that that's where the serial number for the gun would usually be. And I presume you're going to check it's all...
Yeah, I'll look first to make sure whether or not it has a magazine or ammunition in it.
So I presume you're going to check it's safe, so you take it out and you check the magazine and the slide thing, and nothing, there's no bullets in it, but you do see there's a box of rounds right next to it. And you can tell straight away that this isn't going to be a registered... People don't keep registered legal firearms with serial numbers shaved off, so yeah, straight away that's going to be a problem for you. What's your thoughts?
Okay, I place the box on the bed to the side of all the strewn clothing as an item that's interesting to me. I'd put this on my list of things that I'm going to be seizing with me as part of my cleaning of the apartment.
Okay, great. We might cut across to McMurdy in the other apartment now.
Thank you. I'm so stressed.
The witness is excused. Is this a familiar story at your ranch?
The cattle done got mutilated again.
Are you tired of the loss of livestock affecting your income?
Yeah!
Are you tired of having to pick up all the discarded cattle anuses left behind?
Yeah!
Are you tired of having Richard Dreyfuss show up on your property seeking another close encounter unannounced?
Yeah!
Then call Delta and Green Solicitors. Our helpful operators are standing by to take your details and include you in our class action lawsuit today. Please note, any and all settlements received by Delta and Green will be subject to confidentiality agreements, ritual bindings, and government-organized suicides. Delta and Green accept no liability for any reduction, depletion, diminishment, diminution, or decrease in sanity that may result.
Flashing badger.
So, McMurdy, you're going hell for leather on the search.
I'm much less delicate. And in saying that, it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. I've got my special ops training.
What's your search skill there?
My search skill is alphabetical order. Just a 20%, standard 20%. So,
Okay.
Do you want to roll?
Sure.
I fail with a 58.
Shame you haven't critically failed. I was going to make you drop a draw on your toe or something.
But just don't drop the urn.
Yeah, but I am searching. I do have a special ops skill, and
Yep. So you can see that while there's the bed in there, there's also a desk that's set up with a whole bunch of papers and things on it, and it's stacked. And each of the drawers, there's a filing drawer in the bottom. You can see that these are already heavy with that. So you're going through that closet and emptying it out, chucking the clothes as you go. Nothing stands out to you as you go through there. But you kind of recognise there's going to be a bit of time to go through all these papers on the desk. And it's obviously going to take someone... Yeah, it's going to be a sit-down examination that's probably going to take a few hours to go through all of them.
We'll see you in episode 3.
So there isn't a computer there, but there is stuff there, and there's boxes of documents next to the desk. It's going to be your accounting skill if you want to go through them, by the way. So you might want to consider who's going to do that search, because I don't think...
I'm sitting there thinking, you know what, either the consideration is I just grab these, bundle them up, and just take them for maybe looking a bit later off site. Or my other consideration is we've got Agent Phoenix wigging out in the hallway. Perhaps I might even get him to come and have a quick glance. So I'm actually just call him over. Phoenix, are these worth looking through? These worth taking?
Phoenix, does this get through to you, or are you...
At the thrilling prospect of sorting through files and documents, my heart rate just like plummets from 160 down to 75.
This is your jam?
Oh, yeah. I can do
calming
this.
totem.
Yeah. Because I can feel there's something oppressive in here. I've got an intelligence score of 75%. And I've got the keyword focused. So if you need like data sifted through quickly...
I like the idea of coming up to you while you're in this sort of trance, staring at the toilet, that making some sort of alpha male kind of joke, walking up, slapping you a bit too hard on the back, going, if you got to go, just go, champ. and that kind of brings you out of it. And I'm like, what about these papers here? Have we, you know?
Yeah, and the actual, like the friendly camaraderie is actually like working a treat on me. It does bring me back down to earth. I think, what do you need? Yeah, I can help.
Can you check out this stack of papers for me?
Yeah.
Nerdlinger, and see if we...
I might get away from this bathroom and go into the bedroom and just sit at the desk if you're happy.
Well, I might do that. Once I call him in to do that, is there much of the rest of the room to do, or...?
There's not much. Like the clothing and stuff that you've emptied out seems to be sort of surplus stuff that didn't fit in the main wardrobe. And you look up the very top shelf and there's nothing in there. It looks to you like this room is...
I should have just asked that and saved us 8 minutes.
I'm like doing... Oh, look, I do the odd behind picture frames and stuff like that, but once calling him in, I'm thinking like, well, you know what? Maybe we'll swap.
Okay. So it's mostly just like there's a picture of the mountains, a cheap painting that looks like decor art to you, worth nothing.
Is it better or worse than the mural at the Treasure Island office building?
It's significantly better.
He loves Montana. I need to know why.
I didn't know. It's the only
His
place I know
daughter's
with
name's
mountains.
Sorry.
So you pull the picture off the wall, and it's a decor art kind of mountain ranges and horses running and that sort of thing. But there's nothing. You look around the frame. There's nothing stuck to the back or anything like that.
No, very good. All right. Well, I've called Phoenix and I've sort of subbed him in for the papers.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that.
Yeah.
I might even turn my attention to other rooms in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So you're going to start going through those papers, Phoenix?
Yeah. I feel comfortable. I feel like in my element going through documents, papers, data.
So there's hours worth of reading here. This is going to be like 6 hours worth of going through.
Can I triage and put things of like maybe value, like like a power bill? I don't think is too much value, but
I'm straight up asking you: Are any of this stuff Delta Green?
I would.
Oh, sorry, I didn't use the words.
The program.
Are any of these
from my
related
room.
to the program?
I do the my room.
The group.
And at the very moment you say the words Delta Green,
Oh no, I
there's
didn't.
a
A helicopter.
In my
there's a-
mind.
Octopus.
there's a knock on the front door.
No, I didn't say Delta Green.
Oh, that freaks me the hell up. Like I stand up and I kick the chair, like kicking the chair out from behind me.
If I said it, I said it.
There's a knock on the door.
Okay.
You've all frozen for 10 seconds
Yeah.
now. There's a further knock on the door.
And I draw.
And I say, easy on that. It'll be Gladys from next door.
I'm happy to go check, but you know what? I go Prague. Throw me a badge.
How about we just keep the badge on the one who's earned it, and I walk up the corridor.
All right. So you know what? We'll do that.
I get into the doorway of the bedroom I'm in, and I start scribbling eldritch sigils with my chalk.
Okay.
And,
You
then,
open the
and then I
door-
slam the door shut, and I put my foot up against it, chock it shut.
Are the Eldritch symbols on the outside of the door or on your side of the door?
They're on the threshold. They cover both in and out.
Okay, on the floor. All right.
Does this door have a peephole? Mm-hmm. I walk up and I put my foot on the door, and then I peek through the peek.
Okay. And you can just see, like, from bridge of nose, or you can see the top half of a head, and there's hair in rollers.
Edna
And there's-
Moore.
There's a little old lady, and just as you're looking through the peephole, you see the hand come up and knock on the door again, and she's saying, "Hello, hello."
Perfect. Does the door have one of those little chain
does.
latches that I have that set up, and I open it so it does the classic couple of inches chunk, and I say, "Hi."
She's like, this is Mr. Bauman's apartment. What are you doing in there?
And I show my badge, and I'm like, "You would have seen the local police here a couple of days ago."
And she's like, "Oh my God, the FBI! What's happened? What's happened to Mr. Bauman? What? I didn't know it was that serious. What's happened?
Have you spoken to Marlene, his wife?
Who?
So you didn't know?
No? Yeah, listen, you can't. I'm an old lady. I've been in this building for a long time. You can't just come to the door and you can see she's like trying to jam her face through the gap. She's desperately trying to look deep
I
inside.
close
the
it a
apartment.
tiny bit, and I'm like, "Everything's okay. What's your name again?
So,
Sorry."
excuse me, you can't. This is my
Mrs.
building. This is, Mrs. Janowitz. That's
Mrs.
right.
Janowitz.
Yeah, I spoke to the police when they came, but they didn't make it sound like it was important. What's happened?
When you spoke to the police, what sort of things did you let them know?
I
Mrs.
told them all
Janowitz?
about Mr. Bauman. I didn't speak to him very much, but Mr. Bauman was quite a quiet man. He was quite a nice man, and sometimes he had a little daughter visit him and a granddaughter visit him, but they seemed pretty nice and kept to themselves. It's such a shame that they didn't find him for 4 days. It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. And she's like actively, like, even though you're 6 inches taller than her, she's trying to peer around your shoulder now to look deeper into the apartment.
And Mrs. Janowitz, I believe you said you own the building. Is that correct?
Oh, no, dear. Own the building. No, I'm here because of rent control. They can't kick me out. But I see you're from the FBI. He must have been. Was he doing the terrorism? Why is he the FBI here?
No, Mrs. Janowitz, this is purely routine. The short
It's
on
not routine if it's the FBI. I know that. I watch my stories, and it's never the FBI unless it's something really important.
Very different to the stories, I'm afraid. That the local resourcing, when they run low, every now and then we get a call to
Well,
come
I
out
don't-
just to clean some things up.
They shouldn't let people like that live in buildings with us if they're doing the wrong thing. That's what I've always said. My husband, my Antonio, he never got even a speeding ticket. Do you know that?
At this point, I try and get Prague's attention from back in the hallway, and as he looks around to me, I just pull out my combat knife and waggle it like, you want me to?
And I don't tell him no, but I do the single finger of, give me one minute.
I'm considering it.
Mrs. Janowitz, where she is, can just see just half of you. She can't see that at all. But
No,
she's
I'm
like,
waving.
oh, is there another man in the... How many FBI men are
Mrs.
in here?
Janowitz, you were just explaining to me about the last time that you saw
Well,
Mr. Bowman.
he came and went, and he was all on his own most of the time. But he sometimes went to the library and he went to the grocery store.
Had his behaviours changed over the last few weeks or
Oh,
months?
well, I don't like to be a gossip.
But I knew, but I do know, Mrs. Janowitz, that nothing gets past you, and you know everyone in this building.
Well,
So what sort of things had
that's
changed?
True, I did know when that girl on number 2 was pregnant. I did. Nobody else knew, but I did, and that's very right. I know he was coming. He goes away on trips sometimes, but I don't think he was doing terrorism. I don't think you need to be here. I think it's probably best if you all leave because it might make people scared in the building if you're here.
Well, that's why I thought it was best that I keep the door closed and I don't make too much noise. And Mrs. Janowitz, I don't know if you know this, but I have a persuade of 70%. So I'm going to encourage you, Mrs. Janowitz, if there is something that we haven't covered so far that you think is best to tell me, now would be a great time to do it before I do allow you to get back to your room.
I suppose you better roll that for me.
Young man.
Yeah, such a handsome man.
Mrs. Janowitz, I rolled a 16.
So Mrs. Janowitz is just continuing to blather at you about the things that she knows in the building, and she's taking every opportunity to slide in gossip about the occupants of the other apartments. But from your human skills there, you very clearly can make out that she doesn't really know Mr. Bauman very well, that she saw him coming and going from the apartment, that they didn't really have a very close relationship. And the most she's given you is what she's already given you, that he goes away for a few weeks at a time, and she doesn't really know where or why.
One thing I'd love to get out of her as I'm closing the door, because the keys are just on the side next to me, it jogs my memory, is asking her, Mrs. Janowitz, did Mr. Bowman drive a car? Which car is it in the car park?
Oh, it's got a green one. It's not. I don't think green is a nice color for a man's car. I think most men's cars should be black. It's quite distasteful. It's not. He wasn't a young man.
That's fading
He wasn't.
out as I'm closing the door and the shots from up the
That's
hallway.
it. I think it was.
Was it Delta Green?
There's another knock.
There's another knock at the door.
But this time it's at the exterior window.
Balcony door.
No, so
He
you
also
can.
drove a Datsun, by the way. I think you're getting to find people at
You can
Datsun.
it's
120?
actually- depends how specific you want to get, but it's a 98 Chevy Lumina, but you haven't found that out yet, so strike that from the record. So Mrs. Janowitz is like, you kind of conclude the conversation. She's like, okay, and she's very clearly trying to get a good look inside as you kind of gently shoo her away. And looking through the peephole, you see her hesitate for a moment, and she sort of turns around and she thinks about knocking again, and then scuttles back into her own apartment.
I make a pointed gesture of looking dead-eye back at you, Prague, and putting my knife away with a bit of a, I was gonna.
I need to know, looking down the hallway, which apartment did she go into? Because if I'm performing some kind of witness search or canvas later, I'm making sure I don't
go
knock
to
on
Janowitz.
She went, if you went out the doorway directly to the right,
Yep.
if you went out the doorway this one, so apartment 36, you're in number 37.
Yeah, perfect. I looked back at you and said, for info, she lives somewhere to the left of our room. So I got to try and send him there later.
I've clearly heard all of this, and I've opened the door and I'm wiping off the eldritch symbols, going, yeah, it's probably not that necessary, to be honest.
Talk about an ancient evil one.
Yeah.
Look what you summoned.
But I have used that time because I've heard the droning. I'm like, I think I'll get to work sifting through these documents.
So that's 10 minutes. It's going to take you a good hour to get stuff into an order where you can even summarize them.
What do we think? In you guys are
Is
the
he
lead.
telling us this? Because in the rest, whilst this is going on, I basically said about
If
looking
he's
through
gonna,
the rest of the
keep doing
apartment.
that, then the rest can keep
Yeah,
searching.
I mean, that's
elsewhere.
why we're
I'll
here.
just do. Yeah, we're here
So
to investigate.
You
So
just,
that's fine.
as you wander back past the bedroom door, you can see him now deep in the desk, and he's very meticulously opening a drawer and taking an item out and looking at it, and he seems to be sorting them into like 3 piles.
I call out to him. It's not even a direction. I can just see straight through into bedroom 2, and I can see all the papers and what he's trying to achieve. I'm like, the goal is to bring it with us. If it gets to that point, just bundle all of that, but I need to know where it was.
All right. Well, it was filed around the desk.
Panama touched it.
In the meantime, while that's happening, like I said, I go back to what we were originally doing, and you subbed out the bathroom, so I just make my way into there and start looking around there.
Like I said before, there's this like cracked thing on the floor that looks like it was like a toothbrush holder or like a ceramic cup for doing that. And on the counter right next to the sink is a half-empty bottle with some pills in it that have a pharmaceutical name on there. What's your medicine like?
It ain't great.
Well, you recognise that they're you can tell there's some from the family of like pain relief, sedative kind of pills, but you're not sure exactly what they are.
Yeah. I mean, look, to be fair, I have been seeing a psychologist for a long time. So I have had a various combination of meds over the years. So,
well, these you'd know these then are these are like morphine family opiate painkiller meds, and you can, as you look around, there's a medicine cabinet behind the mirror which has got nothing in it. Your toothbrush and toothpaste and dental floss and half consumed things, but nothing that really grabs your attention. And the bin down on the floor has a few bits of scrap paper and things in it that you can see.
Yeah. So I subtly pocket the morphine meds. It's empty or full?
It's half full.
Subtly pocket
Half empty,
that.
depending on your outlook.
Yeah, you never know. And so I pocket that, and then I have a look in the bin.
You want to write them down on your character sheet in case it becomes relevant.
I will do so.
Last night, a former special operations chef, Casey Ryback, accompanied by a team of handpicked elite mercenaries, infiltrated a high-security weapons facility. They walked away with 15 rockets, equipped with experimental nerve agent codename Delta Green.
What is Delta Green?
Well, Mr. Sinclair, if you knew that, I wouldn't be doing my job very well now, would I?
Simmons, what is the potential casualty rate of one of these rockets equipped with Delta Green?
60 or 70?
Well, that's not so bad.
70,000. Dead. 1 teaspoon of this shit detonated in the atmosphere could sink the USS Missouri.
But he's just a cook.
I think legend is the more appropriate term, Mr. Sinclair. Now, what are our options?
An act of God.
Then there's no time for your candor. Make the call.
No, surely not. He's retired, washed up.
Yeah, well, even at half speed, he's damn quick.
Go for Blaine.
Frank, we need you for one last job.
I thought I told you. I'm retired.
You want a shot to see Stacy again? A shot to get your life in order? It's Delta Green, Frank.
Delta Green. It's a 45-minute drive to Quantico. I'll be there in 30.
Flashing badger.
So the bin down on the floor, you can see a few crumpled up bits of paper in there and a few used bits of length of dental floss and stuff. Do you want to?
Yep.
You
I
can
go
go for
through.
that?
I uncrumple the bits of paper. Look, we are searching for things here. That's why we're here. I know that, and I know how to search a room. So,
Why'd you look at me?
because you're the cop here.
It's true. You've had the FBI training.
Yeah.
You look through and go through the pieces of paper in the bin, and there's like a few receipts for drugstores and things, and just prescriptions getting filled. But you do find down the bottom there's like a half-smoked joint, and smelling it, you know instantly that it's marijuana.
Righto.
Okay, so living room and kitchen, I think I left.
Yeah. So nothing else in the bathroom. I go through the rest of it. Have a look around. Nothing. Before we go.
The scum in the bath, but I don't think you're forensically qualified to look at that. But you can have a look if you want.
Oh, I have a bit of a look.
Beyond the normal build-up of sort of limescale around the plug hole, there is also this line at about half depth that just seems caked on of filth. And the smell gets... I know that your nose is blocked. Well, no, yours is blocked with mustache.
Yes.
So your mustache perfectly filters out so you can smell the wonderful body smell that was in there.
Now, I've done some... Without giving too much away to my group, I've done some wet work and some black ops and stuff like that. Is it something I recognise as blood or anything like that?
Yeah, around the plug hole, you can see that there's what looks like blood in there.
Yeah.
It's not a vast amount. You don't think he was bled out in the tub or anything, but...
Yeah.
It's a very cramped space, but I tap him on the shoulder and say, maybe the guy with the degree can sub you out here if you want to find another area to search.
Yeah, no worries. A degree of being a dick. And then I leave. And then I just leave the room with the air of I don't like you.
drumming your fingers on the knife at the small of your
Yeah,
back as
yeah.
you go.
And you hear from the other room me yell, "Guys, I'm filing in here. Keep it down."
It looks like any number of dead bodies you've found in the bath before. Like it's something that it's the muck of someone having decomposed in there for a couple of days. But you don't see any, bullet holes or chips or marks or anything. There's no signs of a struggle that you can see beyond that toothbrush holder that's been knocked off the bench.
The plug hole.
There's some hairs in it.
Can I do that thing where I put a glove on, pinch the hairs and lift and see if anything comes with them?
A whole bunch of scraggly grey hairs that have got some of the goop on the bottom.
Can I go back in time and not do that?
At least they're scraggly, not curly.
Is it worth me trying to give you a criminology roll or something like that?
Sure.
I don't have... is there a
guessing
forensic-y...
No, it'll be. I think it'll be that.
Oh, there is forensics. I've got a forensic skill.
Oh, do that.
I passed. A critical success.
Okay, so looking at the ring around the bathtub, you can tell that this is the human viscera and effluent that comes from being decomposed for a couple of days.
Ew.
And scraping some of it off with your gloved thumbnail and sort of sniffing it, you can tell that this is from a Caucasian male in his 60s. None of that's true. You can just tell it's the standard sort of decomposition material. There's certainly nothing in there that suggests to you any foul play. There's no impact marks. There's nothing around the bath that looks like anyone's fallen over. And looking at the cracks, the grout and the tiling and things around there and the marks up the wall, you can't see any sign of any scene having been cleaned up.
I can also tell the height the bathwater was at.
It was that high.
Yay! I just thought of that. I'm like, wait a second, the ring around.
It was. You would say it was approximately half the width of an average human.
I don't like his attitude, but I've stormed out a little bit. And I've gone to the balcony.
Don't do it.
So out on the balcony, you see there is, again, there's one of those like stand-up ashtrays, and there's a little table in the corner with a single chair next to it.
I'm more interested in sort of what I was thinking along is just quietly and perhaps even sneakily just having a bit of a look out the balcony and taking in a bit of the, I've got that sort of army security thing on, just having a look around, making sure we're not being watched, making sure there's nothing on the street that I need to worry about.
As far as you can see, there's a small alley beneath that's empty. There's just dumpsters and things down there. There's the wall that the building backs onto that's about like 25 feet away. It's right in distance, and there's walls coming out to the very edge of the balcony on either side, full height walls, so you can't see. And you kind of lean out over the balcony a bit, and you can see part of next door's balcony on the other side, and it looks pretty standard. You can't see anyone in the street behind her in the mouth of the alley leading to the
Other
main
than
road.
the man with the binoculars.
Yeah.
and the camera.
In a trench coat.
With a Cthulhu mouth.
In that case, I'm happy with that. I go back inside.
Sure. As I walk out, I can see that codename Phoenix is rustling through the letters, and so I slowly make my way into the living room.
Mm-hmm.
My searching's not great, so if anyone else wants to take over from here, just consider me watching you.
So as you walk into the living room, you kind of catch your foot just on like a fold of carpet where the carpet looks like it's not been well laid. It's lifted to a little point just as you're walking down towards the kitchen direction, because the living room's like an open space that goes down to the kitchen, and the kitchen's down near the front wall of the apartment there opposite the balcony.
That's a very polite reminder of you about the carpet turned to floorboards.
As you trip over the carpet, I hear you stumble and I go, "Oh, watch out, the carpet's raised a bit."
It was the most Aussie accent.
I know. Carpet. Oh, it's time to shear the... Oh, it's New Zealand. Whatever. Can't do it.
Thank God for editing.
Watch the koalas.
Rather than targeting the area that's a bit of the lump, I work my way back to where the carpet is being cut or just changes from carpet to floorboards.
Yeah. And you can
Looking-
see there's one of those strips that kind of holds it down, but it's not very well secured. It's pretty loose. You can pull it off with your fingers if you want.
There it is. I pull that strip up.
Cool.
And if it successfully comes away, I'd like to do that with the carpet. That's a technical term.
And it comes free pretty easily, and you pull it back and you see under the main area of the living room where there's only one couch holding down one side of the carpet, you can see that there is a big circle and a pattern of runes and shapes that, again, make your shoulders tingle a bit and make you feel a bit wrong for looking at them.
I put the carpet back down, I refix that little thing, and I walk out of the apartment.
I retire. So it's maybe a sanity roll if you've looked at them. And McMurdy, have you looked at those as well? Have you seen
No,
that?
I was just coming in from the balcony. I can see him tearing up carpet, but I don't know what he's looking at.
Okay. So your current sanity, you want to roll under that?
Excellent. My current is 60, and I've rolled you a 42.
Excellent. Okay, so it's unsettling and weird to you, but it's not actively causing you panic or concern at this point. So you lay the carpet back down.
No, I continue to pull the carpet a little, and I say, Phoenix, you better come take a look at this.
If it's not more important than paperwork, I'm not interested.
All right, so
I like the idea of just screaming something more vulgar and demanding to cut through, like, Phoenix, get your fat butt out here now.
And as you yell it out, you hear from the other apartment, like, oh, there's no yelling in the building and you can't use that language.
I pull my knife and go, I'll be back in a second.
I hear three voices. There's to be no parties.
People shouldn't have gentlemen callers after 5.
Take that man's name.
You're like, you can hear from a distant one. That'd be so good. Take that man. No, like he lives here.
He's retired here.
Can I put that in there?
So I come out and I've got, like, I'm mid-filing, I'm holding like various documents and bits of paper. I'm like, okay, first, not fat, okay? You can't be fat. All I do is drink Red Bull and smoke. I'm not fat. Second, what?
As he does that, I just collate all the paperwork from his hands and just drop them into one of my brown paper bags.
Okay.
And so as I sort of clear all that out of his way, it shows the view of the carpet area for him.
All right.
I instantly see these. Well, you haven't pulled the carpet the whole way up. I can just see the edges of this.
Correct.
Yeah, runic occult symbol.
Make me an unnatural roll.
Unnatural. I'm looking.
Do it behind your back. Sorry, that's a stat, is it?
Okay, joke of the show. Joke of the show.
I like it. I like
So
it.
bad.
I'm so unimpressed. Does not deserve
Do an
the last
unnatural roll. I love it. Oh.
Look, he shot me.
He was not happy.
Oh, yeah, actually, do me, sorry, I'll start that again. Which is going to fuck your joke. So
Oh, no.
It's staying
No,
in.
joke's going.
No, you
Watch
can
him-
say nothing.
That's why I'm doing it before you.
I actually don't want one. So.
Okay.
Has
Get
to
rid of
be an unnatural.
It's not. I didn't even know you had that.
Then you need to
so.
explain it to
yeah,
Jared.
no, I didn't.
I want it
When I was
in.
doing the symbol.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it before. Okay, so as you come out and you see the edge of the symbol on the carpet, let's see if it reminds you of anything. Give me an occult roll.
I'm looking to roll under 70. I've rolled a 69.
Excellent. So it strikes you as this is something that is one of those symbols that connects with the unnatural thing that you saw back in your experience that first led you to Delta Green. This is some of the hypergeometric, beyond space and time magic, for want of a better word. There's something wrong with this.
Things
you can
that
tell
break
that
the laws of physics. I've spent my life studying astrophysics. This breaks all of the rules.
correct. Absolutely right. So it makes you uncomfortable. So roll me a sanity roll, please.
Looking to roll under 46. Oh, I've rolled a 90.
Cool. You can lose one more sanity, please. This is you can feel the clawing at the inside of your brain as you look at it, and it takes effort to tear your eyes off the symbol on the floor, and that's with half of it covered.
In my bio, anytime I lose one sanity or more, or one san or more, you must make a sanity roll to resist blanking out
Okay.
and forget what caused the loss.
All right. Just do it.
36, I've passed.
So is he a goldfish or no?
I like the idea of every now and then you just passing out. Like those goats, the stiff goats.
I don't pass out, I blank out.
You go into the kitchen, and as you're searching through the kitchen now, it's almost all just like generic pots and pans. There's very little in there. It's very sparse indeed. On the fridge, you can see that there is a like a Polaroid stuck there that has a picture of what appears to be Mr. Bauman in his younger day, and a woman that you can't identify, but about the same age as him, and it has at the Stumpfield place written on it. Apart from that, there's nothing much in the kitchen.
Is that the address from the original keys at the door?
Yes.
I asked these guys what was under the carpet because I didn't look.
You don't have language to understand.
Gotcha.
I checked the milk in the fridge for the expiry date.
Yeah, the expiry date is 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's good.
I just checked the fridge for any protein shakes or anything like that.
Out on the bench, there's like those donuts with the powdered sugar on that have now turned into this like crumbly mass. They've almost made little anthills of themselves. And again, around the side table that between the kitchen and the living room, there's like, Reader's Digest magazines. It's like the standard doctor's office kind of stuff, just generic old magazines, all of which seem about 5 years old. 1 or 2 about fishing. And there's another drawing and a picture of a high school graduation and what looked like grandchild photos and a few things just scattered around on that wall, on the living room wall there. But none of which seem to really grab your attention.
I'm going to grab the Polaroid off the fridge and pop that in my pocket.
I cannot tear my eyes away from the eldritch symbols.
Yeah, it's a real shame you're going to be left here then.
So you've told me that there's those symbols under I gathered that from your cryptic response. Anything else we need to clear from there? But how are we going to clear that? We've got to wipe this apartment.
I'm not touching it. I think we just have to burn this apartment building down.
Oh, jeez.
It's the only way, to be sure.
There's in the
Cop that, Miss Janowitz.
under the kitchen sink, you did see there's like a tool, this hammer and screwdriver, the really basic home.
Any
tool
bleach?
kit. Some bleach, sure.
Was this drawing or was it an engraving?
It looks to you like it's been like scraped into the surface like with a tip of a knife.
I'm sort of tending towards Phoenix here. I mean, we can clear the apartment fully if we need to, and we don't have to kill anyone doing it. We can just...
But the apartment is part of an apartment building. So you're taking the whole building out, in effect.
We can start a fire where we need to.
And
Evacuate
I accept that it's our priority is
evacuate
to clean.
and our priority is also to, we do need to look after the civilian population as well.
We can just relay the carpet.
I'm not even going that far. I'm just saying tear it up and burn it.
As in rip up the
floorboards?
Floorboards, sure.
Or just
If it's been...
Or just start a fire there, clear out the apartment, set the fire alarm off, and by the time the fire is come and put it all out, it's all gone anyway, and we've cleared what we need to.
That's an option. What are your thoughts on I hammer down the carpet?
Someone else could find that thing.
You can feel the creak of the sort of floating floorboards there. That is, you would be able to rip them up with a hammer if you
use the claw of the hammer and pull up some floorboards.
Pull up the floorboards.
You know what, Mr. Full of energy and likes to do stuff? Knock yourself out.
I'm on the tools, man.
Right, so it's going to take you probably another hour or so to do that.
I reach into the fridge and grab a can. Dangerous day to be a can.
Did you pick up that firearm?
No.
Or did you leave it on the
No,
bed?
it's still on the bed and the keys are still hanging at the door.
Okay.
So they're two things I want to grab on the way out.
Yeah.
Right, so you're going to rip up parts of the floor?
If we all do it, will it take an hour?
Yeah, it's going to take you an hour.
So options are we torch this place, but then we can't exactly go door knocking after we torch it. We probably can't check his car because we have to flee the area. And we're probably looking at burner phone weird stuff already this early on. Or we can kill an hour and pull up all the floorboards.
Floorboards is a safer bet in my mind. Sorry, go on, Panama.
Would you say floorboards like burn them?
As in pull them up.
Yeah, sorry, pull them up and then we take them to a dumpster at the back and burn them there. Look, they have to be burned.
To burn something.
They have to be cleaned. They have to be purified.
As we start, that we're going to get to work on the floorboards, I go grab the keys from the front door, pop those in my pocket, and the Desert Eagle or
Glock 17.
Glock 17, that one.
Thanks to our sponsor, Desert Eagle.
I grab that. That's in a brown paper bag as well with some of the paperwork and items that we want to take with us.
Sure.
I take my coat off, I hang it over the back of one of the chairs, and I whack with the claw hammer. I search for more claw hammers.
So you guys are, between you, divided the tools up, you're ripping the floorboards up?
Sure.
Cool.
Yep.
We'll take those as a given. So it's now, you got to the apartment about 3 o'clock. It's now about probably 5:30. It's taking you a while to get all these boards up, and they've come away in easily transportable, probably 6-foot sections. and you've ripped up most of that, and the carpet's just sort of flops back with a bit of a hollow under it now, over the thing.
As we're sort of putting the carpet back down, I get the old trusty chalk out, etch a symbol of purity over where the that other symbol was.
Do I need to dig up more symbols now?
No, it's fine. There's chalk. It'll be fine. It'll be disturbed. Should anyone pull up the carpet again, the chalk will be disturbed. It'll be fine. We're not leaving any traces.
Sure. Okay. So you're...
As he turns around, I'll just wipe that off.
Yeah. That's great.
I'll just use my foot to go and wipe it off and...
I walk away so full of pride, and then you just undo my work. That's fine.
So you make your way out the door. What are you taking with you?
I
Floorboards?
have the Glock. I have the photograph off the fridge. I have the keys. In terms of cleaning, that's all I can think of that needs to come with me. What have you got?
I'm carrying the floorboards and the bottle of bleach.
They could probably go out over the balcony if you really want.
I'm taking the
down
floorboards
into
and
the alleyway.
Floorboards and the bottle of bleach.
Sure. And Phoenix?
I'm helping out with the floorboards.
Cool. You've got the bundle of paperwork in a brown paper bag.
Well, you chucked most of I had the important stuff. I'd finalised looking through the important stuff, and you grabbed it and very carefully and delicately introduced it into your satchel or your man bag or something.
Yeah.
So
And we've got his prescription meds, being the painkillers.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
they've been stolen.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
sorry.
suggest.
I didn't realise they're coming with us.
I don't
They're
think
not on
they've
my
been legally
evidentiary
seized.
log.
Yeah.
They're not on your evidentiary log, you nerd.
All right, so you get down to the sort of under the apartment where all the car parking spaces are and everything, and your little rental car's there. Is there anything else you want to do before you jump in the car and
we
leave?
have to destroy these floorboards.
I like the idea of on the way maybe quickly ducking into the back alley, throwing the floorboards and maybe a bottle of bleach into one of those
Dumpsters?
dumpsters you described.
Sure.
Maybe even the quick match onto it. Whatever. A small dumpster fire is not going to get much attention, especially in this area.
My left hand's in my jacket pocket, and I'm pressing the gloop gloop, looking for a green-coloured something or other in the communal car park.
So a green Chevy Lumina lights up just a few spaces away from the door there. And do you want to go through that car?
I walk straight over and open the driver's door, which is on the left-hand side.
It's true. It's a bit of local knowledge there. So you open the door and you can see like the footwell is mostly full of empty cigarette boxes and rubbish and fast food wrappers, and going through the glove box and the center console there's lots of receipts for liquor stores and cigarettes from around here, but also from down in Mariposa, California, which is probably 3 or 4 hour drive away. Of note, what sticks out to you is there's a receipt in there for 21 gallons of fuel, which seems like a lot to you.
It's more than 20.
Certainly less than 30. There's no way to work out the exact amount. And there is quite a strong gasoline smell in the car itself. But apart from that, everything else that you go through there is mostly junk. Anything else you want to do before you leave?
The receipts I'll bundle and bring with me.
Mm-hmm.
The cigarettes, do they match the cigarettes that were up in his apartment?
All Marlboro Reds, yep. All empty boxes.
Check the boot.
Yeah,
bit of
you
a
go
car
through the boot
search,
and there's
yeah.
the spare tyre under the floor there with, looks like it's never been used, and the jack is in its proper place. And there's a few empty bottles and cigarette packets in the boot itself. And there is the smell of petrol gets stronger when you're in the very boot there. What do they call it? Trunk. You're in the trunk, and the gas smell is a bit stronger there. And you can see it's like a bit discoloured where it looks like there's been gas leaking inside the car.
Do I know how tall Mr. Bowman was?
If it's relevant, ask me and I'll make it up.
Yeah. I have a look at the driver's seat in position, and I try and get an idea of, based off me, if they're taller or shorter than me.
How tall are you?
I'm in this game 5'11".
But not in real life. 5'2".
6'3", mate.
Yeah, you get in, you feel like the seat would need to go one click further backward for you, so he's probably a smidge shorter than you.
Wouldn't the seat go forward then?
Oh my God.
No, for you to be comfortable, you would need to put the seat back.
While
which
he's
means
sitting there pondering this, I slam the door quickly and go, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm ready to leave.
you can see now smoke, these two have
Yeah.
been around the back, smoke is beginning to billow
Yeah.
out from the back alley.
Let's leave.
I've been staring at the fire the entire time with a sense
Noticing
of
that you've
triumph.
already set a fire. Car smells of petrol. Do you want to set the car ablaze as we leave?
I don't think that's necessary, do you?
You think it's necessary?
No, I just want to get rid of those symbols. I think I'll make the suggestion that perhaps we get back to our car. But now we've got a set of keys with an address. Is that what we're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this place, this rustic place in
I think it's
Montana
probably
or something?
I think it's
in California. It's in Mariposa,
Mariposa,
California.
sorry,
Yep.
That's the one.
So I think
It's about 4
Stumford
hours.
Road or something similar.
4 hours of road. Stumpfield Mountain Road.
Yeah, that wouldn't have come up in the GPS. That wasn't close enough.
I think I'd make the suggestion
Back
that
to our
perhaps
car?
we should back to our car, report back to Hieronymus that we've finished the apartment. However, it looks like he may have had a country house or a
secondary address.
secondary address.
Are you placing the phone call, are you?
It's about 6 p.m. at night. It's the sun's already beginning to go down.
You're going to call her off duty?
What are you going to do? You want me to get the chief inspector? What are you going to do? You're going to try and power straight through? You're going to stop
Yeah.
somewhere? What's the plan here?
It's only 4 hours. It's not.
I mean, is that part of our mission? To
We
go
have
to this
to-
place?
You can.
We have to report to Hieronymus anyway, so
Yeah.
why not?
Okay. Who's
Why not
making
get
the
some
phone call?
direction?
I think you can make that phone
I'll
call.
make the call.
Prague.
We're back at the car. We're ready to step off.
So
We
using
get away from here because of the fire, and I use the phone,
the appropriate phone.
the appropriate Vodafone.
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 Thank you
Thanks
to our
again to Vodafone
fourth sponsor.
for great coverage in all of 2009 San Francisco. Go Vodafone. Okay, so you make the call, and what are you saying to her?
Hello? I can't believe she answered and she didn't say anything. I made the call.
So he picks up, and she's like, "Go for Hieronymus."
Hieronymus, it's Prague. We've performed a sweep and a clean of the apartment. I've found some things. Do you want a brief in person or over the phone?
So, well, you've got your report time, 48 hours from our initial meeting at the bunker. What else? Are you certain that the site is secure?
I'm certain the site is secure. I do have information of an alternate address, though, and some information that's pointing us in that direction.
Is it accessible?
It is. It'd be about a 4-hour drive for us.
So, well, you better get rolling.
You better get a coffee.
It's like, just bear in mind, this has to be handled quietly. If you're going out to the boondocks, this is going to be, you need to keep it low profile.
I'm not great with the local area, Hieronymus. Am I going to the boondocks?
You're going 4 hours out to Mariposa. You haven't even told me that, but I know. That's damn good.
Excellent. And I hang up before the conversation is socially acceptable to hang up.
Yep. Just as she's closing her mouth on the last sentence, you already hung up. All right. Okay, so you've got all the stuff piled in the back of the car. It's quite crowded. You going straight there, or is there any stops on the way?
We should just get straight there.
I think we should just go.
Okay, so it's probably going to take you till about 1 o'clock in the morning to get to the cabin with the way traffic is now. What are you going to do? You're going to power straight through, or are you going to stop somewhere?
I know a dodgy little motel that won't ask questions, that we can just do cash over counter and pick a room. 3 rooms.
The disciplined soldier in me sort of says it'd be a good time to regroup, rejuvenate, and hit it early in the morning.
Yeah, I can begrudgingly be in an unfamiliar environment for one night, I suppose.
The motel that we pick, when I go to the counter, I ask what sort of rooms they have, and they tell me that they have several terrible rooms and 1 really good room. Several terrible rooms and several really good rooms.
Yeah.
I rent 1 really good room and 2 terrible rooms. I walk out and throw them the keys, and I go, they only had terrible rooms left. We've all got a
I like to
terrible
make the
room.
suggestion that we all sleep in the same room.
I walk into the
And we do
terrible
a
room.
picket system.
I walk
Stays
into
awake.
the terrible room that has been allocated to me, and I look around and compared to like me sleeping under my desk in my lab, I'm like, this is a palace. This is amazing.
And are you, talking of OPSEC, you leaving your car parked out the front of one of the rooms? Where's the car? Where's all the stuff from the car?
I take all the stuff. The OPSEC in me is very fastidious about this kind of stuff. And I actually genuinely think we should all stay in the same room and just take it all into the room with us. Car can be parked slightly off our own room. Bit of counter.
I've given them the keys to the
Surveillance.
dodgy rooms.
Oh,
And
okay,
as
yeah.
I walk into the nice room, before I can even close the door, they've walked in behind me. And I'm like, and you're carrying all the brown paper bags.
yeah.
And you're like, I call the big bed. I've got the king.
Watch out, I snore.
And you climb under the desk because that's where you're most comfortable.
Yeah,
to
no.
sleep.
I curl up with my back against the door and fall asleep just on the ground.
Like a cat
Yeah,
instantly.
like a cat just up against the door.
No problem. So you shut the door, you put the chain on the door, close the curtains.
Yep.
Yep. And as you fall asleep, the episode ends.
There's nothing like gripping or terrifying for you.
As sleep falls upon you, so doth the episode end. Right. Okay. So you're on your way. You're out in the middle of the wilderness, chasing down the lead for some unnatural eldritch horror. And you're just staying in a motel. Okay. See how this goes. So that concludes this episode of Delta Green, Last Things Last. Be sure to join us next episode and discover what happens when they come across the cabin in the woods. As always, I've been Gordon.
I've been Mike.
I have been Fitz.
I have been Wegs.
As I say every episode, if you would like to leave us a review, that would help us a great deal. We really appreciate it. We're going to pick our favourites and read some of them out. We have an active Discord where this game was recommended to us. You can jump in the comments there. I have to apologise to Tiny in the Discord because I've already screwed up some of his notes, but thanks very much to him for the suggestions. And we're going to conclude hopefully next episode, depending on what how these guys do it. It just took Mike 15 minutes to search a single room, the 6 foot by 6 foot. So
It felt horrible, that whole process. I felt like I was missing the most obvious things. Turns out it was one box in a cupboard.
if only you'd opened the cupboard. Anyway, thanks very much for coming. We will catch you next time.
Flashing badger.